Last year, winners today. We want to know if one out there should stick with the same strategy in this new year, or if we should shake things up. Now, you might remember that we tasked our traders at the start of 2021 with coming up with the acronym they thought would rule the market that year. Tim's was Rise, Rio Tinto, IWM, Schlumberger, and emerging markets. On average, that trade was up more than 9% last year. So, Tim, we go to you tonight. Do you stick with this, or do you mix things up?
Well, I love mixing things up, Mel, so I have to mix things up. And I have a new acronym for 22. And the acronym would be LIVE, L-I-V-E. And that's a function of just the world we live in. I think people after 21 need to go out and live. But so let's break it down. The L in LIVE is Las Vegas Sands. And it's a bit of a coming out party for other hospitality stocks as well. But look, what happened to casinos in 2021 is a function of both Omicron, Delta variants, but also China and China-related travel immobility is devastating. The multiple is cut in half. So I think it's a great way to play what I think is going to be hospitality and coming out stocks. The I is for internet stocks. And that really are, some of these high multiple stocks that were crushed in 2021, despite the fact that the internet story continues to be the great secular story of our time. But the most notable hit to that space was in China. Again, the Chinese internet stock. So it's K-Web is the way I would play that, because I think after being down 66% from the high, there's a huge opportunity here. And I think China is starting to step back from the aggressive pressure on these names. The V is the VIX. And frankly, look, we all know there's going to be more Fed in 2022 and 2023. And to me, more Fed equals more volatility. And I think investors need to be selective about this because there's vol within vol. But owning volatility in 2022 is critical. And then the E is energy again. So not Schlumberger, but the entire energy space. Look, if you look at the charts, if you look at Brent, I think a function of supply and demand having really reached a place where both make sense, but that these companies, you hear me say it, are run for investors, not necessarily for company management and growth at all costs. I think energy will be a trade for investors in 2022, not just traders. So it outperformed significantly in 21, but I think you're going to see significant flows here in 22.
All right. So LIVE is Tim's. Karen, now in 2021, Karen's acronym was WTF, which I thought was very funny. Walmart, TJX, and FedEx, the major gainer in that group, TJX. So Karen, what's your acronym for 2022?
Well, my acronym still for 21 is WTF. I mean, that was just really disappointing. And Tim, I'm glad yours is live, not evil, which would be the same. But anyway, so mine is zombie. And that is Zillow, which we've talked about a lot. I love that they got out of the iBuying business. I love the assets that they have left. And I love that the stock got absolutely crushed. So that's the first one. The second one is the OIH. I, too, want to have exposure to energy for all of the reasons that Tim just said. It fits my acronym nicely, and I do own it, so that's why I picked the OIH, but it could be expressed that bet a lot of other ways. The third one is Meta Platforms. I think that there is no Meta priced in to Meta Platforms. So I've liked Facebook for a long time. We all know the headwinds they face in terms of regulation, and they're really in the doghouse in terms of, what they do for society. But in terms of cash flow generation and a great business with huge margins, I'm staying long this name. And then the last one is banks. And, it would be great if we could annualize today's performance for banks all year. I don't think that's going to happen. But I do think they set up nicely. We had a very big move in the 210 today, more than 10%, albeit off a very low base. But I think that as the Fed raises, you're going to want to be in low PE stocks. And I think banks fit the bill. So that is my acronym for 2022, Zombie.
Guy, what do you think of Zombie, which is spelled Z-O-M-B?
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to spell it. That's, it's difficult for me. Well, Zillow, I think she's spot on. Because if you go back, we had people come from the Irisone conference, and there were at least two people, I think, where Zillow was their best bet, and then it sold off precipitously. So I think she's getting it at a great level. So I'm with her on the Zombie. And Meta, I said it 100 times. I hate everything about the company, but Karen is spot on. The Meta portion probably hasn't been priced in. That's going to do well for her this year.
By the way, we did already ask Guy and Dan. Guy's was Dawn, and Dan's was AARP.